What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and Apple just released iOS 9.3.3 Beta 5. I mean, 5 betas for such a small release. I'm quite shocked actually, but in this video, just want to talk to you guys about what's going on with that and the jailbreak update. So I promised you guys that, and there's a lot to talk about, something pretty crazy actually. So this latest release, guys, just guess how many new features there are. Absolutely none. It's completely empty. It's mostly just stability. So other than that, I was unable to find anything. So I want to go through if anything's been patched, of course. So let's start with the circle folders, and it appears it is still working. I just was able to download Game Boy Advance for iOS as well using the datetime trick, and just to verify with you guys, I want to make sure you know I am on the latest version of 9.3.3. So also I just wanted to say that the datetime trick on iOS 10 is no longer working. So you will no longer be able to install like games and emulators, things like this, using the datetime tricks. So sad to see that go, but Apple has finally patched it in iOS 10 Beta 2. And of course, obligatory test with my iPhone 6s Plus. The lag is still there, so it's like an old friend now. I'm just going to keep visiting it every release, but it has been fixed in iOS 10, and that's also the latest release. So let's take a look at the speed, if there is any difference with the Geekbench. So there's a Geekbench on 9.3.3 Beta 5. The last one was 2552 and 4433, so really not much of a change whatsoever here. So guys, there it is. Boring update, really nothing to say about that. I'm very surprised Apple still hasn't released it, but since it's likely to be one of the very last iOS 9 updates, Apple is perfecting it. I mean, for devices like the iPhone 4S, this is going to be the very last firmware. So Apple wants to make sure it's going to be stable, it's going to run good without any kind of issues, and that's good. All right, so getting to the jailbreak, I know a lot of you guys are very excited. It's been like over 8 months since the last one on a big release. 9.1 to me doesn't really count because we already updated past it. But anyways, so in the most recent news, Muscle Nerd has just tweeted that iOS 10 Beta 2 actually leaves more of iOS 10 unencrypted. I didn't tell you this in my last update because I didn't know, but iOS 10 Beta 1, its kernel cache is unencrypted, which makes it like a gold mine for building jailbreak from it. So it's not everything, it's not all the puzzle pieces for a jailbreak, but leaving an open unencrypted kernel makes it so much easier. Of course, you need a sandbox escape, and I'm not going to pretend like I know all this terminology and everything for jailbreaks. I just follow these developers, kind of, just picking a few things up here and there. So I know that what Apple did with iOS 10 by leaving it unencrypted is helpful. It's not everything though. So Muscle Nerd in his most recent tweet has basically said that even more was left unencrypted, in particular on 32-bit devices like the iPhone 5. So this is before in Beta 1, basically some of the components that were left closed and now they're open. That's crazy. I mean, this makes it easier, certainly, but you got to ask yourself, why would Apple leave the kernel unencrypted? There's one really good reason for it, and that's speed. Encryption actually costs your device speed. So by leaving an unencrypted kernel, Apple is actually making optimizations to the speed. And kernel doesn't store any of your personal data, so having it unencrypted doesn't really sacrifice anything. There's a separate chip on your device, the secure enclave, that actually will hold all of your data separately from the software, and no other application has access to it. Guys, it's complicated, but basically what this is saying is that it makes jailbreaks easier on a beta, but it's likely that towards the full release of iOS 10, Apple will re-add the encryption to iOS 10, making a jailbreak harder. So the conference at MOSEC happened earlier on July 1st, and I gotta say there was some good news from it. First off, they did demo an iOS 10 jailbreak, but like I said, that was actually not too difficult because Apple made it easier for people. But in an interview, some of the people basically said that 2 to 3 vulnerabilities that they had in iOS 9 no longer worked. So they did have to work a little bit, but it wasn't too difficult to create a jailbreak. And that's what they actually said. It wasn't too difficult. Now they're claiming that Luca Tedesco doesn't have a fully running jailbreak, so that's why he's always able to show his earlier, but they are working on it. They have a fully working jailbreak on iOS 10 in the beta stage right now, of course. But they also did confirm that an iOS 9 jailbreak on 9.3.3 they have as well. So every firmware is jailbreakable by their exploits right now. Now that's very good news, but they did say they have no intention of releasing it. So unfortunately, getting Cydia on your device right now is probably not going to happen on iOS 10. It's more likely to happen on iOS 9, because Apple killed those exploits in iOS 10. Why not just throw it out there to us? But, who knows when that will happen. We've been waiting forever, guys. We're going to keep waiting because we have no say in this. It's whenever they'll release it, they'll release it. And the other reason they're not going to be releasing the iOS 10 jailbreak right now is because it could be used for malicious intent. So some of the holes they have could be used for something, in particularly bad, like malware or stealing your data. So I don't know, guys. It's really up to them. Of course, I would love to see one, but that's the latest developments on the jailbreak right now. iOS 10 is left unencrypted, making it easier for a jailbreak. iOS 9, Pengu has a jailbreak for it. They just haven't been releasing it or giving us any details on when they would. So I guess we wait like always. I make no promises to you guys, but it looks like there's some good news now. And one more thing, guys, because iOS 10 unencrypts the kernel on 32-bit devices like the iPhone 5, that's not it, but I actually was very curious. What are the speed differences? Will the iPhone 5 be faster on beta 2 of iOS 10? So I'm going to be doing a full speed test, possibly battery test included. I'll have that up for you guys very soon. And in general, there's a lot of videos I have to make right now, so I'm going to be posting quite a few in the next few days. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Stay tuned for any updates. Of course, as soon as the jailbreak is out, guys, I will be on that. Trust me on that. All right. Have a great day, guys. Peace.